The Democrat Party just sued to bury the data on how many illegal immigrants are getting money through the SNAP benefits program. Sadly, many of them are getting thousands of dollars of help more per month than American citizens. Elon Musk points out to Joe Rogan how Democrats rig elections and then rally their voters to hate Republicans. Plus, I'll have Congressman Tim Burchett on to ask about 3 major rumors going viral in Washington, D.C. Democrats tell you that President Trump is acting like a king and a tyrant and fighting to starve Americans. In reality, it's the Democrat Party keeping the government closed in order to get more taxpayer money for illegal immigrants. Well, now we have reporting that the Democrat Party has sued to bury data showing how millions of illegal immigrants are getting taxpayer money through the SNAP's benefit program. Watch this.
Of USDA February 13th is we sent letters to every governor in America being very clear that no illegal aliens can use SNAP. 0, 0, 0. We asked every state for the first time in history, and this was in February, to send us their data and let us, with DOGE and a war room, actually start going through this data to better understand how this explosion of SNAP benefits happened under Joe Biden. We increased almost 40% on this program in just a couple of years under the Biden administration. Of course, we know they were trying to buy the election, but that's a conversation for another time. And since we have asked for that data, 29 states have complied. Of course, almost all the red states, a couple of couple blue states too. But in that data, and I haven't talked about this yet publicly, in that data we've studied about $100 billion in spend. We have found thousands and thousands of illegal use of the EBT card. We have been moving people off of SNAP. We've got almost 700,000 people, I think, we've moved off just since the president took office. We've arrested about 118 people. So this has been ongoing. But Rachel, to your point, what this conversation has allowed is a national spotlight on a broken and corrupt program. We found one guy in 6 different states getting a benefit. We found about 5,000 people that are dead who are still getting benefits. Like, it is time to drastically reform this program so that we can make sure that those who are truly needy, truly vulnerable, are getting what they need, and the rest of the corruption goes away and we can serve the American taxpayer.
All right, let me know in the comments, what do you think about this? 21 states have sued to block the data from the government. They don't want them to know what they've been doing with that money. And isn't that interesting that all the 21 that are suing are all Democrats? They're all the Democrat states. So to me, this is very, very suspicious, and I don't like it at all. Now, we already know many of these illegals are getting more money than U.S. taxpayers, than U.S. citizens. I think this is disturbing, and personally, I think it's wrong. Now, Elon Musk did a 3.5-hour interview with Joe Rogan. On there, he showed how illegals are being used to rig American elections, to rig the number of seats in Congress, and destroy the country, because Democrats will literally lose every election, and New York and California would go bankrupt without illegals in all the welfare and entitlement programs, as well as on the voter rolls and in the U.S. Census. Now, I'm going to be addressing this head on with Congressman Burchett, but first, listen to the shocking information that Elon Musk shared with Joe Rogan.
The reason you have the standoff is because if the hundreds of billions of dollars to create a financial incentive to have this giant magnet to attract illegals from every part of Earth to these states, if that is turned off, the illegals will leave because they're no longer being paid to come to the United States and stay here.
Wow. Did you hear that? If they shut off the hundreds of billions of dollars going to these states, the illegals will say, what's the point of being here if we're not getting free money? And they won't vote Democrat, but most of them would leave the United States because they can't afford to live here without being, right on these government programs.
And then they will lose a lot of voters. The Democratic Party will lose a lot of voters.
And they would have a very difficult job if this is kicked out of reintroducing it into a new bill.
Yes.
Especially once things start normalizing.
Yes. So, like, in a nutshell, the Democratic Party wants to destroy democracy by importing voters. And the Republican Party disagrees with that.
And the ruse is that if you don't accept what they're doing, then you're a threat to democracy.
Yes.
All right, you hear that? So they are literally destroying democracy. They brought over 20 million illegal immigrants into the country, and they are sending them off to California and New York in order to strengthen their blue states, but then they were flooding them in to the 7 different swing states. Why? So that they would never be swing states ever again. This all comes down, just like with USAID, they were using our taxpayer money, like judo, using that momentum against us to flood the country with illegals, to flood the country with fentanyl, to create chaos, to fund Antifa, to fund bringing all of these illegal criminals from Venezuela up into the country. Why? In order to rig elections. But he's saying if you have a correct census and you get rid of all of the hundreds of billions of dollars, there's zero incentive for these illegals to stay in the country.
As they try to destroy democracy.
Yes.
By importing voters.
That is
and
literally what they're doing.
People to only vote for them and overwhelming the system.
Yes. And by the way, it's a strategy that, if allowed to work, would work. And in fact, has worked. California is supermajority Democrat.
Yeah.
And there's so much gerrymandering that occurs. It's crazy.
All right. So what he is saying is what happened in California, where they became a supermajority, they are trying to roll out to the rest of the country. And what they realized after Ronald Reagan gave amnesty, and that they could self-report the hundreds of billions of dollars that they need in order to be supplemented by the federal government, they realized, wait a minute, if we flood the country with illegals, we can change the census, we can change the swing states, we can create a supermajority, get rid of voter ID, and we will literally never be challenged again. It will appear as if there are 2 parties, but in reality, only one party will ever win elections going forward. It's disturbing to me. All right, now it looks like Congressman Tim Burchett is in the digital green room. Let me bring him in now. Congressman, thank you for joining me again.
Thanks for having me, brother.
Oh, absolutely. Senator Ted Cruz and others said they've been informed by a Democrat insider that Democrats have been holding SNAP hostage to embarrass Trump and to swing the vote for New Jersey's governor race and the New York City mayor race in favor of Democrats. Have you heard anything like this, and does that resonate as true?
Yeah, I've heard that, and sure, it's true. There's a lot of things going on. Schumer, he's got to appease that far left base out of New York, and he knows AOC would just smoke him in a primary. If he doesn't, he's an idiot. You know, Schumer's not a communist or a Marxist. He's a liberal. He's far left, and AOC is. I mean, she's a friend, as I say. She's my friendly neighborhood Marxist, but she is. She's a force to be reckoned with, and Schumer knows it, or at least his people do. And that's what's really all behind this. It's not about fixing Obamacare or SNAP. Everything just comes along and they take advantage of it. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're taking advantage of that, and they're holding America hostage.
Do you think after these elections happen this week that we'll see the government reopen, or do you think this battle will continue?
I think they want to make sure it's the longest shutdown in history so they can blame that on Trump, who oddly enough has no vote. And they'll continue on this path for a few more days, I think. And then we'll see an end to it probably in the next week or so.
Okay. Elon Musk told Joe Rogan that New York State and California will go bankrupt without the illegals getting money for the state from the federal government. If ICE and the National Guard continue to get backlash, is there any way Congress on the money side could DOGE these states, cut off that money, or investigate how Elon Musk says that they are self-reporting to DC in order to get hundreds of billions of dollars in federal tax money?
They can, but I don't know that Washington has the guts to do it. And that's on my party as well. I have the guts to do it. I'd vote to do it yesterday. I think they're stealing our money, which I'm pretty sure they are. That needs to stop. But will we have enough people to do it? I don't know. I would hope we would. I hope we do what's right, because this has got to stop. We cannot keep rewarding bad behavior. You'll see other states mimic it, or see these states that are doing it currently will just turn up the heat.
Okay. I was a little shocked when he said that a lot of this is self-reporting, and that it's not really tracked, and that's how this has gotten out of control. Do you see the DOGE program as being something that should be used further, or do you see them as not accomplishing as much as you had hoped?
Oh, I would love to see it go further. I don't know, again, if we've got the guts to do it. I put 23 or 24 of the president's executive orders in bill form to get them passed, and as of yet, haven't seen any of them move. I mean, that's on the Republican Party.
Okay. Yeah, I noticed out today the Democrat Party as a whole is extremely low. President Trump's approval rating has taken a drop because of SNAP and the government shutdown, but the GOP approval rating seems to be holding. Does that give them courage or justification to not move on Trump's agenda as much?
Probably, but I would hope we would use that opportunity to make things better. Pay down debt, get out of business, get out of bed, so to speak, with some of these crooks. But again, you see both members of both parties getting fat off of things like insider stock trading. Everybody wants to rail on Pelosi. I think out of the top 10, she's number 11 in Congress. There's quite a few on my side of the aisle that are doing pretty well in insider stock trading, and we just can't seem to get any movement out of the bill.
Yeah, they're not going to move because they like getting triple digit returns. I mean, these guys make Warren Buffett look like a brand new investor.
Yeah, if you're making 300-400, some of them making 600% return on your investment, you don't need to be in Congress. You need to be working on Wall Street if you're truly doing it legitimately.
Yeah, but even the Wall Street, they don't get the inside information, so they have to be in Congress in order to get all that insider intel. What was your reaction? Just minutes ago, there was breaking news that Nancy Pelosi will not seek re-election in 2026.
I'm not surprised. I mean, she is getting older, and go play with her grandchildren. I suspect she's trying to work a deal out for her daughter to fill her seat. Mm-hmm. It's always interesting when these folks leave Congress and then somebody comes in their place and they think they're going to assume their role. Man, once you're gone, you're gone. You gotta, the way you succeed in Congress in the leadership structure, a lot of the times is you got to kiss a lot of butt and you got to raise a lot of money. And I'm not very good at either one of those, brother. And so I'll still remain as the 435th most powerful member of Congress, I guess. And so currently there's about 435 members of Congress, if that tells you anything. But that's the structure is very crooked, and it's ingrained. And you'd think eventually some reporter would do an expose, but I think everybody's just in on it. It's just so commonly known. I remember when I was told, when I was first in Congress and I met with one of the leadership, is telling me how it could advance. He said, we're going to see, your voting record, and then we're going to see how you do across the street. Now, what they meant by that was across the streets where you make the call. to raise money. And it's not much difference.
Yeah. What with this government shutdown, you've got people like Thomas Massey and many on the Democrat Party saying this entire shutdown is because Donald Trump is connected to Epstein. You've got other people saying this whole thing is about Obama credits that the Democrat Party created Obamacare and then had these expire right in the middle of Congress right now. What do you think the real shutdown reason is? Is it just that they're trying to cover up Epstein? Are they trying to cover up for the failure of the Affordable Care Act? Microplastics are everywhere in the air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat. It's awful. Their effects are multiplying, wreaking havoc throughout our body. It impairs our heart, our lungs, even our bones. Our bones are the framework of our body, fueling movement, balance, overall fitness. Scientists have also found that the accumulation of microplastics has severe consequences on the amount of muscle mass we retain. Even if you eat clean or avoid packaged foods, exposure to these detrimental particles is unavoidable. They infiltrate our system, cut the gut lining, or disrupt our ability to maintain daily health and strength. A healthy gut is your first line of defense to fight back. Recent human studies have found that there are strains of probiotics found only in kimchi that absorb and excrete microplastics. These probiotics are the armor for our gut to destroy and flush out the harmful toxins. Now, defend your body. Restore your gut natural balance with the power of Kimchi One. All the benefits of kimchi in a convenient capsule form. In a world full of plastics, give your gut the protection it deserves. Today, you can get an exclusive offer by clicking the link below or use code Gardner for 25% off. For an even better deal, call my friends at Brightcore for up to 50% off your order and free shipping. Call them at 888-908-4425. Again, 25% off if you click the QR code or the link below, or call them. 50% off plus free shipping. Do it today.
No, I don't think it has to do with Epstein at all. I mean, inevitably, we're going to be back in Congress, and we're going to have that vote, and they'll vote to open those files. And but what will they do in the Senate? I don't know. I think it will, but you'll see it move along. It goes back to Schumer. You know, you got to have, and they keep saying, well, they got the Republicans have the majority, but the Republican, you know, you have to have 60 votes in the Senate to pass a bill like this. We have 50 or 53, excuse me. 50 is the majority, but you still have to have 60 to pass it. So we're 7 short. So it's just a power grab by Schumer, completely by Schumer, and he's got all the cards and he can hold it. But see, in the past, you know, as I've stated many times, all the major networks would just back him up, whatever he said, and then that in all the talk shows, and then that would allow him, the Democrats could hide behind his skirt, and no one, there would be no, they'd have to provide any clarification or any justification. They just do whatever he says and however he said it, and they just regurgitate that. Well, they don't have that luxury anymore because they're losing ratings, and America is awakened to what they're doing. So I think you're going to see those days, that type of movement is limited. But again, this is what you get when you have 12% of the population gets out and votes. It's not going to, it just doesn't improve.
Interesting. Okay. Congressman, would you support using DOGE to deeply investigate the SNAP program? I keep seeing on Newsmax, Fox News, Breitbart, New York Post, they're all talking about how many illegal immigrants are just soaking up money, some of them more than even American citizens. Your thoughts on DOGing the SNAP program?
100%. And you've got 24 or 25 states that won't allow any inquiries to be answered because that's exactly what they're doing. It's a crooked system. There's no way in the world that the 24 million, excuse me, what is it? 40 million, over 42 million, excuse me, 42 million people in this country are on, where the economics are booming. People can get a job anywhere. And that's 5 times the population of Tennessee. You know, Tennessee's got 8 million people in it. Yeah, they're gaming the system. Once again, it was a good thing when it started out and just got abused. Just like immigration, we had a fairly decent system under Reagan, and back in the day, it worked pretty well, and it just got abused.
Yeah, I mean, on the one hand, Democrats say President Biden was the best president of our lifetime, better than Obama. Look how many votes he got, right? But there was a 40% increase in SNAP. Like, did 40% of Americans under the best president ever, they say, suddenly need government assistance? Or was it the fact that 20 million illegals came into the country?
20 million illegals, and the system's broken for criminals who can abuse it.
I would really love to see DOGE go through that and figure out who's on there. Final question, I want to get your thoughts on this. I think most Democrat leaders are as crooked as a dog's leg, to quote you. Many of them are low lifes based on the lies and their behavior. But I was particularly grossed out this week about some of the lies about Vice President J.D. Vance. Just this week, it was going viral that he's having an affair with Charlie Kirk's widow, Erica. They say that he and Usha have a fake marriage on the verge of collapse. They say that he plans to divorce her before 2028 and remarry a Christian woman because he knows otherwise he can't win. What are your thoughts on these disgusting rumors? And is this proof that they see him as a real threat?
Absolutely, it's a threat. And that's what happens in this game. They just try to destroy you. I tell young members or new members, when they get to Washington, I said, bring your spouse with you. Is every chance you get. You don't have to raise your kids in that hellhole, but I think it's a good idea because people will talk or something will happen, and you don't need to be in that situation. 100%.
Yeah.
And they keep saying MAGA won't accept her. That's the most bogus thing I've ever heard in my life. She's a hardworking woman. She's incredibly gifted, and tweeted about it even to her defense. And JD's, I just think it's just a trashy system, and the Democrats ought to be ashamed of themselves. You know, what they're trying to get at is that she's, I saw some blue blood. Of course, he's a lefty, was attacking her for being Indian or whatever, and saying that the Republicans aren't going to stomach that. I thought the Democrats are the party of inclusion, and they're just. Yeah, he's the threat, and they know it. I think if he's in it, he wins it. I don't see him. I mean, I don't know. They can bring the governor out of California or one of those other lame governors they got. It looks like they haven't passed a buffet line once in their life without overindulging. They've got some real problems on the Democrat side.
Yeah, they do.
And they're sure not going to bring Kamala back.
Yeah. Oh, no. I mean,
I saw
over the weekend, Obama admitted that he was mad as hell at Nancy Pelosi for endorsing her without talking to him. George Clooney just came out and said he did not want her. I mean, he blew the whistle on Biden's mental ability. He did not want Kamala Harris, but that's who they ended up running. So
they did it without an election.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? Never made it through a primary and almost became president of the United States. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, I know how busy you are. Thank you so much. You're always welcome to come on this show. To me, you are not the 435th most powerful. You are right at the top. You are the tip of the spear. I love your honesty. I love your common sense. Thank you for all you do. I hope you'll come back on in the future.
Thank you, Stephen. Anytime you want me on, we'll be back on, brother. Right. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate your viewers, and they're wonderful. And it's really cool to be with you on this show because people talk about it a lot when I'm on, and it makes me feel good.
Oh, well, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Have a great rest of your day.
You too, brother. Pray for our country. Thank you.
All right. Wow. What a great interview. I love Congressman Tim Burchett. like he said, he doesn't have a lot of power, but you know what he has? Honesty, hard work, and common sense. That's why he's become so popular. He says what the common American is thinking. He wants justice and truth and accountability, just like us. He wants to get rid of the fraud, waste, and abuse in all of the different government programs. Now, I want to know from you guys, what did you think about him confirming the different rumors that I brought up about keeping the government shut, burying the SNAP benefits program, the stuff against Vice President J.D. Vance? Disgusting, disturbing stuff. But I was right, and he just confirmed all of that. Also, what do you guys think about DOGing the SNAP program? Getting hundreds of billions of dollars just being wasted on people from other countries that if they weren't receiving all of the supplementation from the government, they would literally just leave and go back home. Also, let me know what your thoughts are on Elon Musk figuring out how to collapse the Democrat Party as they attempt to collapse the United States of America. Unbelievable. All right, if you could, please give this video a like. The more likes and views we get, the bigger guests I'm able to get on the show. So selfishly, I'm asking you, help me promote this because I want to bring you guys the truth and amazing guests. I hope you found value in this video. If you did, please give it a like, hit that subscribe button, stay amazing, and I'll see you on the next video.